So I think it's a good talking point saying, you know, guys, just be very proud that you're able to finish on time, whereas, you know, the organizers, you know, Jeff and Paul didn't finish theirs in time. So, you know,
yeah. No, I feel you. And I think that was a good thing. I mean, you know, but it also gives us a better thing for time. I mean, how long did we actually give them? Like a month? Or did we give them 2 months?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think in future,
in between there, yeah.
I think in future we do 2 months.
Yeah.
Hey, cool. Well, we're here. Everybody can see us. We're live.
Cool. Hello.
Hello. I'm just gonna take my screen away for now. There's comments already. No Sleep Shogun, Nutus, Space Dusty. What's up, guys? I'm looking up because I'm looking at my second monitor, which is there. So sorry if you're looking at my nostrils. I'll do it this way then. And then at least I'm sort of mostly looking at people.
I feel like I'm super green or something. Like my lighting is really weird.
Yeah, you're very green. You're very green.
I think I just have to angle my ring light a bit. Yeah.
Cool.
Yay.
Well, I just want to make sure that my second monitor is sharing. There. Okay, good. So now at least we can do this nicely. You know, Jeff has green. Thanks, Space Dusty.
I think there's this check our audios. Is our audio level kind of equal?
Yeah. How are we, guys? So okay. Pull. Then it's your turn.
Hey, it's Jeff. Jeff has come.
Oh my word! I'm gonna tilt my camera a little bit here because
I see Nata says audio is good. Okay, awesome.
Cool.
Sweet.
Sorry, guys. Studio is a bit of a mess. It has been a mad couple of days. So, yeah. And if you guys, oh my word, just throw all the things. If you guys want to, just remember there is a VOD for my progress on my Alphamon. This thing is so cool.
When are you gonna post social photos?
Thank you. I thought I did, dude. That's not like a democrata I'm at the moment. Eh? Like, yo, happens. Anyway, hey, what's up, Epic? No way, Luke.
Yeah, everybody's here. Yay! Really excited to share the builds with you guys.
I don't know. An alpha mon for an alpha man. That's funny. Thanks, No Sleep Shogun. Although I wouldn't call myself an alpha man. You know, we're all just trying to survive on this, you know, ball of dust that spins around in the galaxy. Cool. I think, should we give it 2 more minutes? I feel like, Jeff, you did do the whole major super duper announcement thing on the Discord, hey?
Yeah, I just dropped a message saying, hey, you know, we're getting started. So that's why the guys
are. Because we're going to announce, because guys, we are going to announce winners and stuff now.
We're going to do the winners at the very end, obviously.
Yeah. So let's
closing ceremony.
Okay, so let's do this properly.
Yay!
Hello, Build Force, and welcome to another BuildCast. This is the Build Force Build Off BuildCast.
Sure. How many builds do we need?
All of them. All of them. And yeah, I'll be very happy you guys could all join us this evening. Look, it's looking so good, dude. I'm so happy you guys could join us this evening because, yeah, you guys all put in a lot of hard work in those on your kits. And we're going to go through everything. So just to give you a kind of a blow by blow, and Jeff, if I'm wrong, I'm sure you'll interrupt me. We're going to go through all of the kits first. We're going to start with the Gundam artifacts because those have the fewest entries. We'll talk about a few things, and then we'll go into the 30-minute mission stuff. Guys, just so that you know, Jeff and I are not going to sit here and go, this is crap or whatever's. There are some things on these builds that we think are exceptional, and there were some things on these builds that we felt were not quite there, but we're not going to sit here and tell you how bad it is. We would like to talk about how you can maybe approach fixing it, getting that better for yourself, that kind of thing.
Just how we can level up, you know?
Yeah, how we can level up. So please don't feel like like when we do that on your build that you have failed, think of it as we thought, and I'm going to say this about everybody's work here. Everybody's work has something great to talk about. It's worth talking about. You know, and what we're going to be doing now is called critique, not positive criticism or whatever or health or constructive criticism, because criticism is criticism. Criticism is when you break something down. Critique is when you find something that you know that if just had this, it could elevate the piece. Okay, so that's what this is about. It's about building people up. Okay, the next thing is, and this is very, very, very important before we start. And Jeff, I'm sure you're going to jump in here with me as well. Everybody who finished a build, congratulations. This was not easy. Okay, we did not give you an easy task. This was not an easy competition to do. Okay, you guys, everybody that finished, congratulations, good on you. We know how hard it is. I mean, Jeff didn't finish his build. I didn't finish my build. So muchos respect. Okay.
Yes. So be very proud of yourself, guys. You know, like with the time management, especially a lot of guys, like it's their first time competing or first time painting. You know, it's a lot of new things to take in. You know, so really, really be proud of yourself and just be kind to yourself. You know, whether you placed in the top 3 or not, you know, you finished. That's the biggest.
You finished. And we're not coming with this whole Pee Wee League soccer club thing of, you know, oh, everybody played, so everybody gets a trophy. And it's like, no, it's not that kind of mentality. It's the thing of you took that first step, and that's the hard thing to do. And who knows, you know, your next one, you know, you've clearly learned a lot. And on your next competition, I'm pretty sure we'll see some of you guys kick even more butt. Also worth mentioning that a lot of the, I'd actually say all of the submissions had a fairly highish bar. I'm not going to be like, you know, I'm not going to lie to you guys. It's not like we're not their international super standard yet, but we had a good bar, and that was good. That, in fact, it surprised me. I was surprised.
Yeah, me too. It sets a good like benchmark for everybody going into the next event, you know?
And I love what Zenith says here. Everyone who participated gets a trophy. The trophy is the kit you built. Yes, that is true.
Exactly.
You know, you finished the kit. Okay, so...
Plus I would like you guys to like keep it on display, and then like, you know, by the time you get to your, you know, 2nd or 10th kit that you know, painted up or customized, you can compare it to your first one and see how much progression, you know, and how much improvement you've made, you know. So
exactly. Hey, what's up, Screech? And I just want to do a shout out to some of the guys that snuck in. John Guy ZA, what's up? I believe it's Kibakso is how I'm going to pronounce that. I will tell you what the desktop was in a bit. I don't know if it's still showing. It's gone now, but there's a really nice collection of them. So I'll let you guys know a little bit later.
I don't know if he's talking about your Easy 8 picking in the back.
Yeah, I don't know if he means the Easy 8 or the robot one, so we can clear that up just now. Screech, what's up, Screech? How are you feeling, buddy?
What's up, Screech?
And
miss you, man.
Yeah, man. He's too busy watching movies and stuff.
And I think, let me just say this before I forget, because for those of you that's coming to the build meet this Saturday, that's have like done this build off, if you can like bring your kit to the build meet, that would be great, you know, so you can see them in person if you want to.
I would like to see some of them in person. Well, not some of them. I would actually love to have the privilege to see all of these in person and actually be able to sit down. If you guys want to, you can ask questions. You can ask Jeff and myself stuff. And I'd like you guys just to talk about your kit. I'd like to actually hear your story behind building your kit. So cool. Enough of that now. I think we have got enough nice intro. Hey, what's up, Next Gen Weasel? Hola. Okay, let's do this. Let's get into the picks. So I'm just going to queue up something on my screen. We're going to get... I just want to get this looking right. So the first one is going to start off with, there's no particular reason I'm starting with this, just because it was the first image in my, it's the first image in this batch of files that we're going through. So obviously we're not going to announce the winners or anything as we're talking. That's at the end of the episode, at the end of this. And as soon as I can find my picture viewer, that would be amazing. Thank you. There we go. Good. Full screen, you monster. Okay. And we're going in 3. Oh, crap! Now this thing is doing something ridiculous. I know, I love technology. No, man, it's just it's the way I was streaming. There we go. Cool. Okay, so we got the first one here, which is a riser. And this is a vanilla riser. This is like the colors it's meant to be.
Vanilla, yummy.
Yummy vanilla. Love
so it's just we're going off by again. We are also not gonna talk about who did it. We just talk about the build. So this build, the submission was called Double Riser Vanilla. And I know you're trying to go for just like saying, oh, it's just the original color scheme, but vanilla is kind of fun,
Yeah, the vanilla is fun, so that's cool. So right off the bat, congratulations on finishing this thing. I'm not going to say that every time, and also cool for you trying out the metallic technique. Trying to get a candy coat on such a small model, and if anybody's watching this and they have no idea how big a Gundam artifact is, it is about, I would say, about 5 centimeters
you have
tall.
Yours. Not about.
No, it's in pieces.
Let me grab mine. Yeah.
But it's like small.
It's
okay.
They are this big.
Yeah, they're not big. They're about the same size as the Gundam Converge figures are. Yep. So if you have any idea of that size. Okay, so yeah, cool. Anyway, so there was a candy coating scheme or whatever that was applied to this, which I respect because it's not easy to do that, and it was hand brushed, so nice. Most of the seams and stuff were removed. There was one that was missed there, but for the most part, these kits can be very tiny, and there's a lot of little details. And Jeff and I did say that we don't really care too much about the seams on the artifacts because they can be a thing. But it is cool to see that this builder definitely went through the effort to do so. I'm just going to bring it to the side now, and you can see some of the detail. So this is what I liked about this build quite a lot was just that. Firstly, it's difficult to do an all-white, the actual vanilla scheme at that size, and there's a lot of accuracy. Quite a bit of accuracy done for this. I don't know what the level of the modeler, but
one thing I'd like to point out is, especially for a kit like this being so small, presentation or the way you take a photograph and the lighting is putting the most important thing just to show off. So I can see some of the lighting is a bit inconsistent. In the previous shots, the lighting was more brighter towards the bottom, and then the top was a bit there was shadow cast near the top. So for us to judge it, it becomes a bit hard because no matter how much we zoom in, it's just it's there's not enough pixels to show off how clear it is. Or even when it goes a bit out of focus, because here it's focusing on the binder on the shoulders. So it's a bit tricky to control, especially if you're shooting with your camera, because the camera is, your phone's camera. They don't have you can't really control, but it's good practice for you to see now. Okay, it's a bit blurry. Then we know how to address it going forward in future. Maybe consider getting a manual camera app where you can increase your f-stop.
Yep.
So that you can have a more
open the aperture.
Instead of a shallow depth of field, you have a deeper depth of field.
Depth of field.
Everything else,
Or just check on your camera if you can change the metering as well. So the phone cameras have great metering systems that will allow you to go for smaller shots or whatever. Anyway, I'll say these shots, I loved these shots, okay? And this is what I want to talk about, because here Jeff and I can get quite technical, but for the most part, we can see what's going on and we could effectively, judge and go through the piece. Sorry, I bumped my mic there. But it's when they and this shot in particular helped us quite a lot with some of the information for the image, because we know it's not easy to get 2-point lighting set up and whatever. So nicely done. I'll tell you guys a nice trick. If you guys can shoot outside, you've got a lot of white paper here and whatever's going on. You could actually get a lot of good reflected light if you shoot it outside. If you take this box or you take it outside on a chair. That's what I used to do before I got myself a photo box. This kind of here, like in this situation, this is where I feel like the light was too strong and too harsh, and it actually didn't help us see things nicely. I love the angle. I think the angle is such a great shot, and it was really nice for us to be able to see in these little pieces here. I'm sure you can see my mouse pointer. But unfortunately, it being very bright, it changed the profile of the colors, so we weren't really sure which were the correct colors. So I went with what happened in the previous shot, and that was actually to the benefit of the builder, because I feel here they look a little blown out. And I also want to kind of mention that a kit this size, there's a lot of fine detail in here, and I would have personally started with a wash. That's me. I'm not. It's different for everybody, and I'm sure people can argue with me about that. But I would have started with a wash so I could see all the details, because it actually makes it easier for me to paint. Is when I do a wash, and it starts bringing out stuff, and I can zone it better. So I think, But also, again, cool angle. Sorry, Jeff. Yeah.
No. On the topic of presentation, also something I see here is they used rotating. I think it's a rotating display with that mirror finish. And here it's actually, normally when we see model kits on a rotating display, it looks fancier. But in the cases of judging, I'd rather not use a mirror like surface, because then it's again creating distraction, and it's like, oh, are we looking at the reflection, or are we looking at actually parts of a kit? So
cool.
The less distractions, the better.
The better. Cool. A very fun technique you can do if you do want to use a reflection or a reflected surface. For example, grab some baking like parchment paper or tracing paper and put it over that mirror, and then put it on, because you'll still get the reflection, but it will diffuse, and it'll actually give and it'll do something nice to the light in the background. It'll be more fun. But anyway, let's move along from the riser, because there is more that I want to talk about on the other kits. Let me just sit here and oopsie. There will be a more elegant way we do this next time. Okay, the next one is this bad boy over here. It's a goof flight type.
Goof flight type.
Yeah. So, when I first saw this, my knee-jerk reaction was like, wow, this is really, really cool. I love the vivid color. And also, again, another candy-coated approach. So nice. Very cool. And not easy to get right at that scale. And something that I feel that this painter is getting really right that the previous painter didn't. Guys, this is just experience, okay? I feel like the silver used here and for the candy coating was a silver that was for miniature painting. So maybe it was something from the Citadel range, or maybe from the Vallejo range, because the metal pigments are very tiny, and it helps a lot with the scale of this. And that matters, because you can see how it really helps the look here. It helps the finish quite a bit. Also, quite brave on the stickers. I feel like Jeff and I might come from different angles when it comes to the stickers, but like here, this was very clever using the foil sticker, bit of cut out foil sticker here. This was very smart. I thought that was well done.
I do feel those foil stickers stood out quite a bit from the rest of the kit, because the rest of the kit has a more like weathered, used feel, and those foil stickers on those joints feels too clean. So it did stick out, like it becomes a focal like point, a slight distraction for the eyes. But otherwise I feel the seam line removals, it's very good. Like I know like the crotch piece in the middle I think it's split in half, but you've removed the seam line, and it's very well done.
And these as well. And also, like, and coming back to those foil things again, it's for me personally, I really appreciated the ingenuity there. What Jeff said about the execution is spot on, by the way. I'm sure you could have used a little bit of the panel lining wash maybe even a Citadel or a Vallejo shader or something on there just to give it something. I know it's difficult because of the type of material that it is, but hey, salute you for trying that out because that's very intuitive. Again, panel lining. I see panel lining is happening here. I feel like it's missing in certain spaces, but yeah.
I do feel like the panel lining is really well done. That it actually defines a lot of the shapes that we see on the model kit. Yeah,
totally.
Being such a small kit, panel lining is quite important here. Yeah.
And also for this builder, very cool that we got these very like strong close-up shots and very well lit. It really helps this build a lot. And listen, when you're painting stuff this size, one of the most difficult things to achieve is to achieve a paint like a clean finish. And I know for some of you guys, this is the first time you've done miniatures. I feel like this painter, whoever did this, has maybe done a miniature before or has painted a few. I accepted the paint texture here as an intentional choice because it was done consistently around the whole build. It didn't feel thicker in some places.
Yeah. Again, these things are tiny. Here's the same kit in my hand. So it's like 5 centimeter, not even. So again, it's really amazing on how much detail that he, brought out.
Yeah, this is. I'm impressed. I was impressed when I saw this. Now here comes the controversial thing for me. Oh, I love this shot. By the way, this shot went a long way because I really loved seeing how tiny it was and how big the sky was, and that told a great story. I really appreciated that. And this as well. Now, so if you guys didn't, if before didn't blow you away, the little super noodle store here did it for me. Now, we're not judging the base. I see the base as part of the photography now in this situation. But yeah, I mean, you could have put it on like a few blocks.
But that's disregard the diorama. If you're not looking at the building and if you're just looking at the portion of a kit, it's still a very well composed shot where it's like slightly looking up and you get to see all the silhouette of the model kit is well defined.
Exactly. Also, I love that if you guys squint at this pic, and I can even help you a little bit. I can't zoom out. If you guys squint at this, you'll see there's a U shape that goes over it. And there's very little space here on the top. So it's got a nice point of tension. So like Jeff said, the composition is very good. And this is why, because it lives within a third of this piece. And it's living up here. The main focal point is here, but it's not being crushed. It's got enough space to breathe. And you've got a thinnish space here. You got a thin space, a large space, and a medium space. So you've got like some hierarchy going on. Anyway, those are fun terms for later. And also the foreground element of this extractor fan from the air conditioning. Anyway, we really like this. But for me, a controversial thing was the stickers. I applaud the ingenuity of using the stickers on that. For me personally, I don't know if the viewers will feel the same way, and Jeff, if you felt the same way, I really love these white sticker designs from the Sinanju or Sasabi, but I felt the Londo Bell stickers and the unicorn sticker that is on this pulled it away for me a bit because the unicorns, because of the law, it immediately pushed my head into the law of they wouldn't put the unicorn or that on anything other than the unicorn. Whereas this, I could see this working as a Londo Bell unit, but I didn't see it as a unicorn thing. So be very careful with that, guys, when it comes to law, to stuff with the law, especially with Jeff and myself, and especially with me, because I have a huge, I don't like using the wrong decals on my kits. And I say the wrong decals, like I will not use UC decals on a seed kit, for example.
So basically, it's like everything that you apply has a meaning, and if you're applying that sticker, then you need to kind of work with it, saying, if it's a unicorn kit, then maybe give it a whole white color scheme or give it an Earth Federation color scheme or something like that. So consider the impact of whatever you're applying on has meanings to it.
Exactly. Yeah. So consider that. But otherwise, great paint job. And cool dynamic photos. I want to move along though, otherwise I'm worried we're going to run out of time with all of these. And there's quite a lot of stuff to cover, especially when we get to 30-minute missions. This is a great shot though. I love this. And I love this silver piece here because I know that was hard to do. So it's not necessarily just the effort, it's the execution, and it's clean execution there. Okay, on to our next one. This one. Okay, so this was, I think it's called
I Am Gundam.
I Am Gundam, yes. So I love that this kit, or that the builder decided to go for a completely different color scheme and completely just break it. Which
he did have reasons for it. So in his description is with a like double riser with the military, more realistic color scheme to it. So yeah, that always helps. You know, when you describe it to us, then we know where you're coming from.
Yeah. So I kind of that's what I picked up from this as well. That I kind of felt that this was like a desert spec, more realistic military kind of take. I really appreciated this as well, like the separation here, the painted in, I want to say semi-camo, and also here on the, I don't even know what to call these. I'm going to call them wings for lack of a better word right now on this surface. I like that there's like a two-tone on the surface, trying to tell the story. I even don't care that, like, I love that as well. Like, there's a lot of like cool stuff happening here. The thing that I felt that this build needed to elevate itself was it needed panel lining or a wash, just to bring out some of those details. And I also felt, although this is great, this like blue and like how you executed it, I do feel it's a serious focal. It draws a lot of attention, and it's also on the final kit. I just felt like there needed to be a strong focal point somewhere on this kit. So maybe just here on the top here, I would have just done an alternate color for this section here on the chest, on the torso. Oh yeah, I do want to talk about that sticker, that image in a bit. But Jeff, yeah, please.
Yeah,
your thoughts.
I'm going to go to presentation again. So if you go to the photo with the box at the behind it, and also the new Gundam behind, I noticed those two photos, the focus was not on the kit. They were focusing on the box or the new Gundam. So again, if you're taking photo with your phone's camera, again, just after you take a photo, just pinch in and just see, okay, where is it focusing at? Yeah.
And here's the cool thing, Woburn, Dem's a great color scheme. Also, hello, Woburn.
Hello.
Just taking a second just to reach into the comments, into the chat. What's up, Bloodlines? I think we sort of sneaky half said hello to you.
Hello.
I'm gonna try my best to pronounce this. It's like Tatuna Unicorn or something. Anyway. But anyway, welcome. I think it's the first time I've seen your handle on one of these. So welcome to Gunpla Says BuildCast about the BuildOff. And yeah. And hey, what's up, Random Vortex? He just snuck in there. Once again, guys, please, like, just remember
that Unicorn B?
That Unicorn B. Oh, okay. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. You got that. Once again, we don't want to like make anybody feel dissed or whatever's. I love this. Like, I like the colors used. I just feel like maybe there just should have been a stronger contrast in places. But listen, it's not easy. And I don't know what level of painting this, what level the painter is at, but painting minis is hard. And I feel like for the most part, the paint job is actually quite solid. Like the precision. Yeah. I really love these like two tones in the screen used.
Perhaps for me, like maybe give the gun a different color. Like I know you're sticking with the military, but maybe the gun can be one. Yeah, it's the gun and the sword piece, right? It could be in like a gray, just to separate from the body, you know, because otherwise everything's brown. It's a bit harder to see the shapes. Yeah.
And also, guys, I like the photography here. There's a few very dark shadows that made it a little bit difficult for us to judge. But I like the approach to trying to get the angles. Guys, again, just if you're using your phones, just set your metering, try some tricks. One of the tricks I like to do is not to put the camera right up against it, but to sit back, zoom in a little bit so that it does blur out the background, and then you can like focus on the piece nicely. And or if you have a macro setting on your phone, by all means, knock yourself out. But yeah, a nice attempt on the pics. This one was a little bit tricky because like I saw the cube belay in this shape initially, and I was like, yeah,
it's quite busy. Yeah, I know what you're trying to get at is basically showing the size of this thing compared to the other object, but it almost becomes like distracting. It's like, I'm not here to look at your other object, I'm here to look at the kit that you're entering. So just be mindful about, you know, what's in focus and how much composition takes up the frame, you know, of your kit.
Something I was hoping I would see from a few more guys, just because it's tiny doesn't mean you have to get up into the kit's grill every time. I think it's important to take a photo of your mini slightly away from yourself. So I'm not saying you have to shoot it from a meter away, but sometimes it wouldn't kill you to shoot about 30 centimeters away from the miniature, you know, because that gives you kind of a representation of how the human eye would see it in a real situation, you know, on a table, in a display or whatever. And sometimes the paint job does magic with that, you know, like you can trick the eye a little bit because that's what it's about. Painting is about tricking the eye. And so, yeah, so that's something just to consider when you guys do take photos. Give yourselves a bit of, it can be a little bit amateurish in some regards to show the whole thing. But sometimes, for a miniature, if you want to just show people something holistically, then give it a bit of space so they can actually see the wholeness of the piece. Okay, let me kill these and hope that my wallpaper hasn't randomly changed to demonic woman or something, as it is wanted to do sometimes.
Okay, so that's all the kind of artifacts.
That's all the artifacts. So if we got guys, if you can just give your own little applause. I don't want to clap because I don't want to. It's going to be quite loud. But yeah, just an applause for everybody who entered there because that was
well done, easy. Guys. Yeah, the Gundam artifacts, they're small, but they're actually very challenging because how small they are. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna get in. Yeah, well done. So Jeff, you know these builds as well. Is there any specific build you want me to show first?
Just go through the whatever order you see them.
In order, okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. Then I'm gonna open up with this one. This one's called what is this? This is called the Ant 11 Static.
Can you just check the name? It is the Ant 11 Static. Yeah.
So I'm sure a lot of you guys are seeing this and going, whoa, because it is cool. It's very cool. I love the color scheme. I like the decal placement. I like the design of the decal placement. Appreciated the build, you know, what went into, like, it's a pretty standard build, but it's got a good collection of pieces that just make it stand out. I felt the color scheme was very reminiscent, at least to me, it was very reminiscent of Chappie and of District 9.
I thought of Doom. I thought of Doom Guy.
You sort of Doom. Anyway, yeah, so I actually didn't think of Doom at all. And then the next thought I had with this cool rocket pod was MechWarrior. I thought of BattleTech and MechWarrior, and the person who built this and painted this and weathered it. Because yes, congratulations on your weathering. It's the right kind of subtlety for me. But they are very familiar with the BattleTech MechWarrior world because this color scheme also would work, and the way the decal placement is done is very MechWarrior / BattleTech. I really feel a lot of that in there. Anyway, I really like this build. I thought there was some really great stuff going on. Watch out for that seam on the thumb next time there. If you're going to fix up all the others, you might as well get that mold line there.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry to be
I didn't even see it. I didn't even see it when I was like, because all these builds I always like zoom in, but yeah, I missed out. Amazing.
Yeah, guys.
Okay.
As either like, listen, it might not be a mold line. It's just that like I'm always scared on my builds that people see that and think that I'm the worst builder in the world because I didn't clean that up. So when I see it, I'm just like, try to get it. It's not a difficult thing to sort out. But otherwise, yeah, this was awesome. Jeff, your comments. I feel like I've said enough.
One thing I noticed, I don't know if it's intentional or not, but it looks like the arm didn't get pushed up all the way, and also the legs, like by the crotch, those legs are like kind of extended, so it feels, I don't know if it's intentional, like you said, maybe if it's like District 9 reference with like the prawns, maybe they're skinnier and more like extended. So again, I wasn't sure if it's intentional or not.
Yeah, it's also like I also kind of excused that as well because it seemed to fit in with the feeling of the build. But let's get some turnarounds going on here. So this is just for the audience sake. If I wasn't like completely like sold on what I was seeing on the front view, the way that the gun was color separated and painted. Okay, full disclosure, in 30-minute missions, I really hate this gun. Okay. But now seeing it painted, I like it more.
Because it takes a lot of time and patience to color separate and mask and whatever, just to paint up all the details on all the parts on the gun.
Also, I think the arrows and the chevrons, I think those are very cool choices. It's a little bit orcish from Warhammer, from 40k. But also things like this little bad boy here, this little nub mark, because you've done weathering on the whole kit, I would have just disguised that as a bit of chipping damage instead of trying to fix it. I see it in the general. What I'm trying to get at is it doesn't feel that intentional. With everything on the build being so intentional, that stood out to me. Sorry guys, I don't mean to. I'm not trying to nitpick. It's just, But trust me, with some of the quality of these kits, you do have to start nitpicking, which is annoying. So I love this. This was very clever. This is very nicely put together. This shield combination. Once again, the chevrons, the 11, some good color choices, really good color choices. Very strong, very solid. This rocket pod from, it's good. I enjoyed a lot of this.
So it's
I love these.
a lot of busyness, but it almost feels like it makes sense, to be this busy. Like there's a lot of story to tell,
Yeah. So I see there's a comment saying maybe it's meant to be like that. So I'm not sure which you are specifically referring to. If you're referring to the legs over here like that, or if you're referring to the little bit of this that I was pulling out, this bit of detail. This section here, that I kind of get the feeling that was intentional, and that's why I don't have an issue with it. But this previous here, that needed just something to just say that it's more intentional. Otherwise, it does look like a fault, unintentionally so. Ooh, very, 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 very high contrast shots here.
Because obviously the light is from the top, so like it casts a lot of shadows, and it's quite harder to see.
So so that commenter, it was here, Karen 0705 2020, which is commenting on it was the legs. So maybe it was that meant to be like that. Yeah, I feel like the boulder always has the legs like that, so it does feel intentional, and they do look intentionally kind of pried apart. For me, building, it's the kind of thing I see with a lot of beginner builders when they're not familiar with the pieces. So that's why it kind of jumped out at me. Once again, it's something small that I felt didn't stand out in a bad way. Great. This is a cool shot. This is a cool money shot. This is a better shot for me than this one was because, yes, it's a great 3/4 shot, but the contrast is too heavy. There's too many darks. This is great. This is better, even though the lights are a bit hot. Yeah, but I love the diorama stuff. I love the foreground element, the midground, and the background. So awesome. always cool to see that.
Yeah, it does add to the story. Even though, again, we said like, in this context, we're not gonna like look at over the diorama, but yeah, it does add a bit of story to it. So that's nice.
So what we feel about so dioramas will be treated as part of the photography in my eyes. So anyway, and there's a bit of a spoiler because that's another entry from this builder, and I'm going to go through this quite fast because this builder is spoiling their own build, which is kind of their style.
So again, guys, you can enter, like, you're allowed to enter multiple, but only one of your builds is up for winning.
Is eligible for winning.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. So I love Foresteries, and I really felt that this builder did something interesting with this color scheme, with these blue lines, and the sort of highlighting here. It kind of tells me that this is a stealth unit that can go into stealth mode.
Yeah, like cloaking and stuff.
Yeah, and the kind of cloaking system that it uses reminded me a lot of the Predator, which is cool. And I also really like the color choices, like this kind of blue and everything that's going on here. Like, I like the color choices. I think it's good. And this here, I feel like this little bit of damage here on the shoulder, and that stood out to me. But whoever, if this is your build, you might get a good laugh out of this. But when I saw that, I was like, how did this builder get that right? And that's the thing. I think, like, I got respect, because I think this was an error. I don't think it was meant to be like that. And then it just worked out. Like, the builder managed to handle it their way, and they were clever and did some resin casting of the pieces. So I appreciate
just to get that disappearing effect.
And I dig that, because even what would normally be considered like a fault, like these bubbles, actually add something to it. Jeff, jump in, man.
So for me, I found this piece was too much one color, or like one tone. So if we had like one different thing just to create a bit of a focal point, that would have been nice.
Yeah, that was going to be my thing as well. I just felt like it needed something that just would have given it a bit more of a focal point. I feel like, also here, this painter had a great idea here, and I think it should have come in a shape. So maybe like cutting diagonally here, so that we could have the whole effect. Because right now it just feels like the arm and the leg are cloaking. It doesn't feel like the whole thing's going into a cloak. And it's a pity, because now it makes it look like these are two different colors, which just didn't feel right because of how the builder had considered so many things here. But again,
so instead of applying to individual pieces, try and apply it to like the entire kit as a whole.
Yeah, think of it as a shape.
Cloaking effect,
But again, I love the use of this. I like the use of the pipe here. I'll be honest, the pipe, I thought the idea was so good. The execution on these pipes is not easy. I learned this the hard way with my Kemper kits that I did years and years ago, like early 2000s.
They're throwing at the edges,
Yeah, and one of the tricks that you can do there is just to use a lighter and just scorch them a little bit. And otherwise, I love it. It's just that it's hurt by the fact that they're fraying. So just be careful for that on the next one. Another cheap trick there is to actually put super glue on its ends as well, because sometimes the super glue can also burn it, but just be careful with chemical burning.
Personally, I just prefer using the lighter and just light it up a little bit, and then
it's much easier for me. Also, kudos for going with a very simple feel. Like, I don't know if the builder intended this, but when I saw this the first time, I thought of Halo. I don't know why. I just thought of Halo specifically. I think it could also be something with the cloaking, but the colors used, even the way that the font is positioned, and all that. It just felt Halo to me, and I like that. Maybe I completely missed the mark, but that was the feeling I got. And we got some money shots here.
Yeah, here's a nice shot that tells a story that, like, you know, it's a stealth unit coming from the back, attacking another unit, you know. So yeah, that's good.
I'm still very impressed with the resin casting. I actually I love these imperfections. Like I'm sure the builder kind of wrestled with themselves a few times and to decide if they wanted to keep it or not. I'm glad that they did, and I think one thing that I would have done here is done a little bit of dry brushing on some of those edges, just to even enhance it a bit more so that it feels even more intentional. You know, like you have to sometimes own it. Like sometimes it's just a case of it's there, so own it. You know.
Yeah, just got to push it a little bit more, yeah, just to make it even more intentional looking.
Yeah. But cool. I'm just gonna go through some of the shots here. You can it's the same builder as the vanilla artifact. And then we get our next robot for a shave. Cool. Okay. And the next one is this one, the Reedus.
What is the name of this build? It was the we didn't even say the name of. We didn't even say the name of.
Oh, the previous one was called the Epsilon.
Forestry
Epsilon. Yeah.
And then this one is the Gundam Reedus Zygote.
Yeah. Yeah. I just know it as. I affectionately called it the Reedus, because I'm a huge Death Stranding fan. I love Hideo Kojima's games, and I loved Death Stranding. And so when I saw this, this tickled a few. This hit a few buttons for me. So wow, that was my first instinct when I saw this.
I'm really impressed by like the execution and also just the presentation, like the photography, everything. Just like it's nice and clean. You can see the actual kit without any distractions on the back. Again, guys, like if you use a piece of paper as a backdrop that rolls, because I can see in some of the previous entries, you guys put like a piece of paper at the bottom and a piece of paper at the back, but then creates that line. You know what I'm saying? And just like it's and the shadows create a bit of a distraction. Whereas if you roll the paper, you know, like a literal backdrop to be one piece of paper for the floor and the wall, then the shadow like blends a bit better, you know. So again, so this is like 10 out of 10 on presentation here, that we can actually see the kit clearly.
So guys, I don't even like if we say 10 out of 10 for presentation, I mean this shot is good, but wait for it. So where do I start? The builder used edge highlights, which is typically a miniatures thing, and I've seen a bit of edge highlighting on some of the builds that have come through here. Love it. Love that you guys are like transferring those miniature skills, or just seeing something in miniatures and bringing it over to this style of modeling or of the hobby, because it looks great. I love it. It sells this. The weathering is really great. It's subtle. I love the gradients that were created by it. I really loved this build. Like, and the design. So I know what this is. Like, I know what it is. I mean, Jeff. I mean, anybody who builds 30-minute missions can look at this and knows what it is.
Death Stranding,
Yeah. Well, we know it's from Death Stranding, but we know what 30-minute missions parts it is as well. And but it's so well hidden. And a lot of the 30-minute missions-ness is taken away. Also, I love the Barbatos sword. But and how it's used, very cool. Like super, super cool. Great parts. And this baby, I'm
actually very curious on how they made the baby. Is it just like from resin casting, or?
So I have a little bit of insight, but if I didn't have that insight, when I was judging it, I didn't have that insight. So,
and then looking at this piece, the baby almost like, because of that baby, I'm thinking of this as like almost a humanoid armor, or humanoid, like it's like a human size. It's not like a giant robot, but like a normal human size.
I like the scale there, definitely. Like you feel the scale, and that's something that this builder really achieved well. And also the previous one who did the sort of chappy MechWarrior-esque style build, the ant, they also achieved a good look in the scale. Like it fits in well with the diorama. So this has got no diorama, and we can already get an idea of the scale. So that is one thing that really impressed me, and that is not easy to do, guys. So very nicely done. I can definitely see this person has painted lots of miniatures. Also, this cable over here, when I was judging this, when I was going over it and giving it my score, I kept thinking like, okay, cool, you guys just found like a really great heavy duty cable and then you clipped it and then you just formed it because it's got like a natural kind of look. But the more I look at it, the more I'm like, I think that's a runner.
Is it a runner?
Yeah.
Because I keep thinking, is it like a garden wire or something?
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. I thought it was maybe garden wire, but then I looked and I was like, yeah, cool. But I don't know, it's something.
So maybe they took a runner and just melted it and formed it. But we can ask them and then find out all these
I'm sure they
stories,
can. So that's the thing, guys. Especially with this builder, I was ask for this person's techniques when you see them at a build meet. I know for a fact that they do go to the build meets, so ask them. Backpack is so cool.
So one thing that I'm kind of curious about is the tapes. Were the actual real tapes that were stuck on? Like, I think it is, because it does feel like there's a bit of 3D to it. So it's like almost they took like masking tape and then like cut it into thin strips and then painted it, then applied it onto their model kit. I think that's how they're doing it.
Yeah. So it looks like there's a teensy bit of daylight coming through here. Just saying. Just putting that out there. So guys, just be careful when you build. Even like an amazing build like this had a little bit of daylight coming through there.
Maybe just push it together, or even just cement it or glue it together.
Or maybe I'm just completely wrong. But guys, if you're wondering,
but look, for us to like really nitpick at these like tiny little details really tells you like how amazing the rest of the builds are.
Yeah, we were like looking. We got to a point where we went from shock and awe to, okay, now we have to give this a review, and we have to give it a score. And what are the actual mistakes, if any? And so that was one of them, small one, whatever's. Like when it's sitting on your shelf, who cares? You know what I mean? For competition, different story. But anyway, 10 out of 10 for presentation starts here. By the way. Fantastic shots.
So again, even without those like tabletop buildings that he used as props, even if he just used like boxes, but because of the lighting is so good, and it's like really mood lighting. It's not just lighting for the sake of like whatever, but here it tells us a bit of a story, So that's what really like pushes that presentation.
Our overlords are coming, and he's protecting the giant baby. No. Guys, just something, I've mentioned this before, I'm going to say it again. For your shots, foreground, midground, background. Yeah, makes all the difference. It really does. I mean, look at all of these foreground objects here. They're out of focus. But it just does something. It just, boom. It just makes the shot so much more dynamic. Anyway, this is why we felt this presentation was pretty hardcore. And learned
did they print like screenshots from the game, or is it's printed, right?
It looks printed. It's very clever. You know what, Jeff? I must be honest. I didn't even go there. I was just like, cool, mountains. The whole composition, the tension point pulled me here.
Yeah.
And everything just faded, and then I was looking at the foreground, and then I came back again. So, I really love this piece. Also love this. It looks like the what's my one called? The Reiki, Meli's Reiki, but I think it's just the Reiki Kai here in the foreground.
Oh yes. I didn't even notice that until you mentioned it now.
So that was cool. Great, like foreshortening there in the shot. So guys, this is these are cool shots. I actually want to speak to the to the builder and ask if they wouldn't mind maybe just putting their credits on these images and maybe like allowing us to maybe give 1 or 2 of them away as downloadable wallpapers. Just because, I mean, I'm sure everybody here agrees that it's cool. We're not sure if this is the winner or not, but it would be cool if, I'm sure you guys think that's an awesome image to have as a wallpaper. Moving swiftly along, and I quite enjoyed this. Ba-boom.
Hey, it's Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
This one is called Iron Spider.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, okay, the first things that jumped out at me on this build, or actually, let's do it this way. Jeff, what are the first things that jumped out at you on this build? I keep feeling like I'm taking the lead. Yeah, the eye.
For me, it's the visor, yeah. Because obviously, you can clearly see it's a Spider-Man spider build, but instead of building 2 eyes like a Spider-Man, they just took this kit's design and okay, it's got a visor, but then how do you like interpret the Spider-Man look? And obviously, the black border with the white visor really like has a high contrast where that is your focal point, Yeah.
And it's Spider-Man. It's Spidey. So... yeah, so really, really cool. The first thing that jumped out for me was the very clean paint job. This was a painstaking process. The person who built this was making sure that they got a clean build. They wanted a clean build. They didn't do any weathering. And that was cool. Like, you don't have to do, like, again, guys, you don't have to do weathering.
Yeah.
The second thing that jumped out you did notice?
I did notice the 2 shoulder pauldrons, the shoulder pauldrons, they are asymmetrical. I wonder what's the reason for that? Because like I was just thinking, if you're going for the Spider-Man inspired concept, and Spider-Man's like he is symmetrical, so why is there 2 different shoulders here? I'm just like, that gave me a bit of going,
I like asymmetry. I'm actually glad it's like that, because I would have just been like, oh, like I feel like that gives it something, like gives it a little bit more character. So here, but the next question that came into my mind was, where did he get those spiders from? And I say he, I mean the spider mech. Where did the builder, like, would these look handmade?
It's scratch built,
Which I
like, you can see there's like slight imperfections, and then it's purely hand built. What I wanted to comment on is the side profile shots. I want to comment on the posing. So guys, like, be mindful about, again, posing is affecting pointing to your presentation. Even though the orthographic shots are just neutral pose, but you still want it to be posed in such a way where you can feel a bit of like character in them, even if it's neutral. And this pose here, it's almost like hunching forward a little bit. The center of gravity is a bit too leaning towards the front. So think of like a S curve. Paul, I don't know, are you doing something?
S curve. I'm actually
S curve,
So like, it doesn't have to be boring. It can be like from the side, and you can give it a little bit of depth. Like, it doesn't have to be like, so like there's a front shot, and then you can go side shot, and this toy doesn't even like pose that well. Like, so you can also kind of
So you don't have
that
to
magic spot.
So you don't have to set all your limbs to be like straight. Like, give it a bit more character to it. So,
but hey, this is
bend the knees a little bit, set them like wide apart. Yeah, because I think the feet are pointing in slightly, and just just feels a bit uncomfortable to look at. I suppose it doesn't feel as natural for like a human or for a neutral pose.
But the cool thing is that this is the builder taking a shot, following our instructions, and now for next time. So, and there's the back, also all around clean build. Just felt that it was missing. I love this shot. This made me giggle. This made me giggle in a big way, just because it was so like nice. So here we go.
I
at
felt with the
web
previous shot, they could have like really pushed it, because obviously it's a reference to that scene in the first Spider-Man movie, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So I would have approached it with like a dark background rather than a white background, so that the light doesn't shine onto the background. Because like with that previous shot, it was like the light was just going onto the back, and then it's the model kit itself kind of blends into the background, so, and didn't really stand out. So
Also, something that we couldn't see from the turnarounds. Look at the red inside here. I can actually zoom in here. Look at this, like the red inside here, and the blue. Like they could have just gone blue, 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 and just marked this, but they actually did that, and I like that because it helps complete the form. That was considered. I feel that was considered, whether it was subconsciously considered or, consciously considered. But anyway, it was considered. I love these webs, so they're great. Congratulations on those webs, because it's not Spidey without some kind of web slinging, and So I'm always a little like dubious when it comes to, or a little skeptical, and I'll even say this about the Reader's Build. As much as it's from a property that I love, like both Spider-Man and Death Stranding are things that I love. So there's a part of me that when I see like the Avengers, Gundam done up as the Avengers, Gundam done up as Vin Diesel, and Gundam done up as like things from other shows, I always respect and admire the creativity, but it doesn't always tickle my funny bone, my happy, magical love, tonsil. Except for the Death Stranding, because I'm just such a Metal Gear nut, and because there's so much mechanized stuff in that anyway, it kind of worked together. So I liked this. I thought this was cool. Like, despite everything I've said now, I liked this. This jumped out at me, and I was like, cool, nice. If you don't have, if you're like, wow, I actually really have this good idea, and I think I can execute it, let me keep it simple. Well, there you did. And this was a great, simple idea, executed well. So
I would have loved that, like, you doubled down on the Spider-Man idea and actually made changes for the model kit, like especially like not kit bash, mod your own hand to do the Spider-Man like hand, like chop off the the chop off the pinky and the index finger and then create your own. So and then have the webs shoot out, like it attaches from the wrist. Yeah. And then really like double down on the Spider-Man idea,
Told you I like Spider-Man. But we know that's not always the easiest thing to do, because maybe you had to go and buy a whole new accessory pack or raid a Gundam for its hands or something. We get it. You don't want to first do no harm, We get it. I also just feel like there could have been some stronger panel lining in certain areas on this kit. Just I don't know, just to bring it out a bit. Oh, there's a huge argument going on here. There's
and then especially here, you want the pointing finger. Otherwise it's just like, oh, bro, first me, first bump.
What I think, it being called the Iron Spider, I think what would have been really cool on this design is if the builder managed to get some parts that were like the claws, the yellow claws on the back there. I would have liked to have seen that kind of concept as well. This is like, we like it enough to like explore the concept. So maybe for the next
even like the the new Spider-Man has like some gold trims, because it's actual like armor now, so it's similar. Maybe you can apply some third color, bring some gold as well. But otherwise, really cool.
Nice build. I love the painting. The execution is like, all the simple stuff was nailed. The photos, everything. So I'm happy. Cool. Let's get into the next one. Magus, Seal, Asura, all the things. Magus, Seal, Asura's whitewashed wrath.
Yeah.
Okay, so
obviously it's just it's a reference to Azura's Wrath, the game,
or Asura with his multiple arms.
Oh yes, yeah.
The guard.
So here, points are a bit low for painting, but obviously because it's only got
It's just
panel line
panel line.
painting. But again, like we said with this competition from the very start, we don't want people to feel forced to do like a full paint job. If it's your first time painting, start with panel lining, and that's all good. This will be your first step into customizing and your first step into entering competition. So that's great. The fact that you panel lined, it's big ups to you. I do want to say though, it's a bit inconsistent. Some details weren't panel lined though. So
Yeah, I noticed that too. Also, like pro tip, if you're going to shoot something that is this white, try to get something brown or gray behind it, because it is literally disappearing into the background. I had trouble seeing the silhouette initially, just because I wanted to fully appreciate the shot. But like, big thumbs up on the concept, because I totally wanted to do this as well. I also had an idea to do like a god-inspired machine with lots of arms. And when I saw this builder chatting about it in the Discord, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do that now. It'll lessen the impact. And then I forgot about it. But love this. This is so cool. Like, this is really nice.
Rifle arm, hey?
Yeah. Oh, it's cool. It's very cool. I actually want to get myself a set of those still. Well, I mean, I still want to. But this piece, I love this piece. I think it's such a sexy looking thing. But this is also the other issue is I'm appreciating pieces of the 30-minute missions, whereas I'm not fully appreciating the builder's build. And that's just because I feel like maybe there needed to be just a little bit more personality added to this in places.
But what we can see here is he's having fun kit bashing.
Yes.
With the parts that he's got, So it's good.
And I love the design. Like, I can't tell. Like, I'm looking at the parts, but then I'm also like, yeah, like, it is definitely not an out of the box kit. It's different waist, different arms. And that's what 30-minute missions is all about. And there's a part of me that like is fully with this builder where I'm like, even now, because I didn't get a chance to paint mine for the competition, I'm also a bit like, but that's kind of cool because now I can take it apart again and like build other stuff with it. So, and that's where this builder totally wins, that they can do all of that. Love this. This is a cool shot. This is a cool shot.
Yeah.
See, because of the darkness there, I can see it better. Good pose. Really great pose, actually, for me.
The previous shot was a bit distracting for me, like with the, T-Rex.
Yeah, from the Lost World game poster.
Yeah.
So, and then
this is
actually
like this. The biggest thing about this builder's entry here is just him having fun with the photography.
Yeah, and that's where they scored like cool points. Well, at least with me. And Exodia, which is so crazy because I didn't think anybody else had this. I found this at was it not Toy Kingdom, because we didn't have Toy Kingdom in the country when this was here. It's that other one, man. Anyway, Toys R Us. I found it at a Toy Zone, or it could be a Toys R Us, but I remember paying like 50 rands for it. 50 whole rands. Yeah. And I always wanted to paint it up, but it wasn't mine. It was actually bought for my significant other at the time. And I think they still have it. So it's cool. Actually, like when I saw this, like, wow. But also quite ballsy that old Ashura can just stop Exodia with like 2 arms, just like, meh.
I was thinking just like, are they doing the Naruto Rasengan thing where it's like, 2 people, charging one ball together?
I don't know. I kind of feel like the Ashura is being all like, yeah, I don't have to worry about you, Exodia. You're too powerful for me. I'll just let my 2 right arms deal with you. I mean, to be fair, they're both very powerful. You see, and he's doing the same thing to Barbatos. Barbatos is like, I really, really like you, and I want you. Talk to my hands, Barbatos.
Bouquet of giant mace. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I'm very impressed with your giant mace, but you can get signed photos at the gift store. So move along now. I love this base. I don't know what this is. this base that it's on. This is so cool. Looks like, I don't know if it's like a camping.
Isn't it for a baby or something?
I don't know. It just looks cool. It's like, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
Let's move.
Eating
Gojira.
here. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like going in to punch him. This is also a fun shot. I also like the whole. This shot is very much inspired by the video game, by the angles.
I would have loved if this shot you actually didn't have any like lights from the room, and just take like a torch or something and just light up, just a like highlight, just certain details. Yeah.
Very cool. It's a cooler box. So now we know. My cooler box doesn't look like that. My cooler box is still from like before some people on this channel were born. Probably shouldn't be using it anymore. Anyway, moving on to the next batch of awesomeness, and we have 4 more to go. So we're going to go quite quickly through them, but not too quickly. And here we have a robot. What's it?
This is what's it? Project Shaw's manga.
Project Shaw's Project Shaw's manga dimension. So, Jeff, your thoughts? What were your initial thoughts when you saw this?
So this is very unique, doing like kind of comic style cell shading to it. That was really cool, especially when I saw the presentation shots. That was really, really fun. It's like, and I'm just thinking like, how did I pull off some of the shots? I'm actually but we'll get to it. We'll get to it. But from the orthographic shots, one thing I do want to point out though is like there's a bit of bleeding over, like if you look at the arms, there's a bit of like red underneath the. If you look at it from the front shot, you see where the arms like So did they initially paint it like red? And then it's like, it's a bit too much red, and they tried to cover it with the white, that kind of thing. Yeah.
So there's a few things that could have happened here. The one is, it could have just been that the red underneath is very strong and it's coming through the white paint. We've all had that happen to us. Or the brush used wasn't fully cleaned and it had enough red on it. And white is such a virgin pigment; it's so easy to contaminate that. If you have even a little bit of red, it just immediately goes there. It immediately makes it off-white. This is actually a superpower if you control it, if you know how to use it, because that can actually be quite interesting. So for me, when I first saw this, I was like, whoa, there's something about this that is interesting because there's a lot of smart design considerations in this. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but I do feel there's a bit of steady-handedness and stuff that still needs to be learned. But my word, the fact that this builder had the sheer like internal confidence to just push themselves, to just do it. And
but I personally have never tried this kind of art style before, but I can imagine that to keep your lines consistent, doing the outlines to make them like same border or thickness or whatever must be really challenging. And sorry, just looking at this now, like I finally know why there's an asymmetrical shape to the pauldrons. I think they are like out of the box, they are asymmetrical, so it's not
or whatever
intentional.
it is.
So going back to the iron spider, like it just came out of a box like that, so
But I still like, to each his own. I love that this looks like a wolf here on the chest. I don't know if that was intentional, but it feels like a wolf, kind of a wolfy kind of face,
or a skull or something,
or something. Like there's a motif. There's something happening here. I like the zones, the color zones, like the reds used and where they were used, and that I just like where they were used. It was clever. Some good thinking here. There's some nice, there's a lot of the cluster is here. Okay. And then it gets loose here in the legs, and then it gets the red here again. And that's great because it gives us a nice visual break. It also makes this kit look taller. This design look taller. Where having all the red there and then having all of the stuff at the top really makes it feel like the zone here is quite a bit longer. Photography is cool. It's very, it's helpful for us. Posing, what Jeff said earlier. In fact, it's cool because it's the exact same kit. So exact same.
Yeah. There's a bit of more. This one's a bit better, where the knees are slightly bent, so like the center of gravity is a bit more to the center, but the arms, I think it's a bit feels a bit too rigid. Like you can flex the you can flex the shoulders, like push it a little bit back, and then the arms, like, you know, turn it to the front and just bend it slightly, you know, because currently they're bending inwards rather than like forward.
Yeah, look at the word contrapposto. Okay, anyway, getting to the back here. Love this. This is cool. These are placed nicely. I don't know if that's how they're placed in the manual, but I like them on the kit. It gives a strong silhouette. So this didn't get like lots of points in terms of the assembly of the kit, in terms of like the creativity behind its basic form. It is more like the paint job and the ideal use of the paint job. And I actually feel like, and I'm hoping the builder is here on the channel, and also to you guys, don't be scared. And this is why I love this build, or what I love about this build. This guy is not scared, or this builder is not scared. They were like, I'm going to try it anyway. And you know what? If it doesn't look like the best in the world, who cares? I'm finished. It's out there. Cool. And you know, the thing is, if you're scared of trying it again, don't be, because you've learned so many lessons from doing it this time that you can actually apply a lot of that knowledge going forward. And I'm sure that this builder learned a lot about painting, because, and I'm going to bring it up a little bit later when we do a bit of a conclusion, but there's one thing that I've seen every builder do up until now with every one of these builds. Not every builder, but I would say like 80% of you guys have done, that I want to address. But here is where this guy won all the points for me in my mind.
So again, presentation, eh?
Oof. Photography is awesome, and the presentation is awesome. Such a great concept. Look at these poses.
And I think definitely having those like comic backgrounds really helps sell the concept. Like without those backgrounds, it wouldn't be as strong, you know.
Yeah, I love this comment from Zenith. So glad I don't have to choose a winner amongst these great builds. That was exactly my conversation with Jeff the other day. I'm like, yo, this is going to be rough. I keep thinking the background pages are from a manga called Blame by Tsutomu Nie, but I could be wrong.
I think it's a bit too neat and not enough chaos.
Yeah, possibly.
Blame, yeah.
Yeah, but it's really beautifully done.
Or maybe it is from Blame.
Maybe it's the builder, in which case we need to talk, because you got some cool technique there. But I love these shots. Look at this. Like the blur is used well, and it's just clever. Like it's great. Like this is the kind of thing. And I would like to know, I'm sure the Photoshop foo was quite strong here, because I'm sure there was a stand or something holding this figure up. Yeah. But they did a really good job of hiding it.
There's a bit of like a motion blur to it. Like it's focusing towards the center, and as it goes out, it goes slightly blur. So it's nice photoshopping, but that's all good. Yeah.
I get such a Ultraman / Kamen Rider vibe here. Oh, okay. I'll see one thing. The backgrounds were shot with the PC monitor, computer monitor, because I can see the dot game.
You can see the screen. Yeah.
That's fine.
That's just a very again. That's clever, very smart. Yeah, that's very clever. Yeah.
It's such a unique design. I really like unique concept. I really like this. Also, again, guys, for all of the people who have submitted pictures and your money shots, I'm speaking to everybody, by the way. I would like your money shots with your credit in the bottom right corner. And if you don't know how to do that, we can do it for you.
Oh yeah,
we'd like to make these available.
We can do it for them, just to keep it consistent.
Yeah, as Latang says, it might not be Photoshop, it's just skills. Yeah, it could just be skills. It could just be like, very smart metering on the camera. Anyway, let's move swiftly along. Red Death is our next one.
Nice.
Yeah, nice indeed.
Yeah.
So
the lighting, there's certain parts I would have liked to see it clearer, especially just on the head. It feels a bit dark. Like,
And I feel like there's so much cool stuff we could have seen there. I love this because it's the samurai. Like a lot of the colors and stuff are used really well. Again, some good color separation, some nice darks to bring out, to pop up the golds and the coppers and the reds. Cool choice of head. Really love that head. Love the
very fitting for the concept.
Yeah, I definitely get samurai or ninja. In fact, the word that came to my mind when I saw this was Sekiro, actually. Has a very strong Sekiro feel for me. Because then I saw this. Once again, posing thing, take a note. But cool assembly of parts. Like, clever. Like these lower
again, so here it looks like it's just slouching over, and the hand, like, the hand's like facing outwards. Like, if you see it, it's just looks a bit awkward. So again, posing, like it's you might not think it's such an important thing, but really sells the feel of the design.
It definitely does.
Yeah. Imagine Iron Man looking so cool, but if it has like a slouching pose, then like it loses a lot of that cool factor, So, posing is very important.
And for our viewers, Jeff, what does it say on the back there?
Means death. Yeah.
Death.
So I personally, like, again, big, like, I don't know if it's like masking or hand painted. It looks very smooth. So it looks like it's like done with masking. I just felt it kind of blends a bit. It's very dark, so it kind of blends in with the rest of the shield. If it was done in like white, would have, like, with higher contrast, it would have jumped out much better. Yeah.
So that's so weird because so this is where, like, it's not like a technique thing or an objective thing. It's a very subjective thing now. I love that it fades in like it does. I think that, like, Jeff's also right. A high contrast version of that symbol would also be a winner. And I feel like maybe this might be the unpopular choice with a lot of people, but I like this, the way that it was done. I like the textures and things that used. Yeah, it just made me feel give me like a Mega Drive feeling, like a 16-bit era video game feel.
Okay.
Made me think of like the SNES game Hagane. There was a lot of cool stuff that I saw when I looked at this kit. Really dig it. And this photograph.
This shot I really love though, because here the posing's, pretty on point. The silhouette really gets highlighted very well. With the subtle lighting, like it's
see? So cool. So cool.
It's got a very mysterious feel.
So just a few things before we go in, and as we start moving forward in the images. I would have loved that if this builder just maybe that, like, was just brave enough to do a little bit of weathering on some places. And I also think it would have been cool to have seen a little bit more panel lining in some respects. Just because there are so many juicy details on this kit that it would have been cool to see that brought out. And these photographs are great, and I know that you're telling a story here, but don't pose, in my personal feelings, unless you're really gonna put this kit in the very, like, right up against the camera and have it like really blur out. Try not to try not to put a unpainted kit with a painted kit, okay? Because it definitely creates a reality distortion effect.
Yeah, like really do it like go closer with the camera and like that. That would be much better, because then your eyes, is focusing on the key subject here, which is the painted kit. The other kit is just there to tell, like, to supplement and to add to the story. So we don't need to see so much of it.
Yeah, exactly that. But yeah, nice shot, nice atmospheric shot. I mean, we can't fault you for photography. You know what you're doing.
And it's a shame. Like, obviously, apparently there's no weapon to this kit that I've seen in the orthographic shot. But here he's interacting with the weapon. Obviously, he stole it from the Gundam, right? But No,
Or the freedom.
whatever. If you painted that beam saber, it would have felt better, because then it's like it's integral. What's the right word? Like it's part of the build,
It loses
Integrated?
cohesion. Yeah. Pardon me, guys. It's little things like this that just, it's like the little knocks, guys. Pardon me. I'm trying to not die here on camera. Hold on, let me just mute my. I'm much better now, thank you.
Cool. How was that?
Yeah, much better. And also, I would have tried to crop it in here, because this looks so sinister and so evil. Which is what I feel
guys,
this kid is.
I think this advice can apply to a lot of photography advice, is that when in doubt, go closer rather than shoot too far. Because, like, again, don't be afraid to go up close and just crop out like segments, because like the less you show, less is more, like when you show too much, then it's like the eyes is like, oh, not sure what you want me to look at. But when you show less things, then it's a bit stronger. Even with that, like,
Yeah, even for me, like the composition feels stronger here to be like more on the left-hand side, like here as well. Anyway, just sharing tips,
or if you just zoom out, just showing off like the body on the floors, just the arm. You don't need to show the whole body. They'll become even stronger as well. Like,
I would have like
even
said
that,
here,
like this.
And where is your smoke and your awesomeness from that previous shot for this shot? Because my word, that would have sold the heck out of it. You could have used the shadow to hide that this is unpainted. Just, be clever with your money shots. You don't have to always, still, awesome build. Really dig it. Very much way up my alley. Any kind of mecha, samurai, anything is a win for me. Which is what is going to be cool, because I think our next build has a similar feel. Yes, it does, actually. And they both start with R in the name of the mecha. So this is
Ronin,
called, Ronin. So not to be confused with that irritating singer. Jeff, your thoughts, man, when you first saw this?
It's like Shaw's Portanova.
Shaw's Portanova, is that what you felt? Okay.
Yeah.
Go for it.
No, I really dig all the vents that are used for this, the modification to it.
Oh, like the mesh stuff.
The mesh stuff. Yeah, that adds to the whole samurai or Ronin feel.
So, I dig it as well. And there's one little thing you have to be very careful with if you call something a Ronin. It's not allowed to carry a flag on its back. You can't be a flag. You can't bear a flag because you have no daimyo. You got no retainer. So like
looking at the Chinese character or the kanji, it's got a Langrun, which is like Ronin.
Yeah. So it's cool. Like I mean, like I'm just saying, that's just something to consider for like story stuff. If you're gonna call it a Ronin, make sure that it doesn't show any ownership and whatever. Still, what I felt when I saw this, sorry, I'm hitting the mic now. What I felt when I saw this was, oh my word, this is a cool looking red samurai mech. And also it really strongly evoked like a Mega Drive 16-bit era energy in me that really spoke to me. I love like the paint texture here because I can tell it's intentional. And obviously the mesh, you can't ignore the mesh. It's very good. The other thing that jumped to my mind was, and the builder might be cross with me when they hear this, the mesh is great, but I think a little bit of styrene or something on this piece here, just to bulk up the mesh a little bit, just to have given it a layer, would have been nice from a design point of view. I just feel like it feels like something's missing. I don't know if you felt the same way, Jeff. It just felt
maybe
like
the design doesn't. It's not as coherent with the rest of the body's design. Felt a bit out of place.
Yeah. But I love this. Like, I love the way that it works. Like, the whole shape is really well done, and the scratch building on this is really, really well done. I mean, the flag
And
that I was
speaking,
mentioning.
yeah, and speaking about another thing that's out of place is that, again, with the arms, if you go back to the front shot, you'll see it, like the arms didn't get pushed up all the way to the top. So it's also got another extended look. So again, I don't know if it's intentional because it just looks slightly odd. Yeah.
I feel like the builder could have done something, like maybe put in like a ring of styrene or something here just to force the intention of the look, because it also, that immediately grabbed my attention as well when, because that's the thing, like when you're building,
because coming from my experience, like I'm just thinking, like, did they not push it up because they're afraid that it's going to have a tight fitting and it's going to scratch the paint, or like what's happening here?
So that wasn't because what that communicates to me, as somebody who's built for a while, it communicates that the builder isn't that experienced with Gundam kits yet, and didn't think to do a little bit of sanding on the inside of the upper arms, inside there to create clearance for the paint. So anyway, that's it. We live and we learn. It's a great overall kit. I think the silhouette is beautiful. I love the design of the feet. I like that I can't fully tell what this was before. I have an idea of what it was. I'm thinking Porta Nova, but more important than that is like how this flag is done. It is so cool.
It is done with the runner, yeah?
I think so. It looks like it. Yeah. And then, you turn around and you get this awesome looking like sword and the hilt. Like, look at the
it's got like textures on the.
It's got a texture on it, and the super looks cool. And I like the sort of, I don't know if that's, I can't remember if that was part of the flag. I remember seeing that. Yes, that's part of the flag.
It's part of the flag.
There was another, this little X. I dig that. That's so cool. It's such a great little design. And I love the line here with the 3 dots. It's, that is awesome, because that is also, it's a great, like, I can see that the person who built this does have an idea of samurai and has maybe done like a bit of like research into, so I feel like I definitely feel there's a samurai here in this design. That's what I love about it. Not a Ronin per se, but a samurai, definitely. The shield is great. Lots of cool things happening here. This piece here, with the way that the mesh is rolled over here on this bad boy here, and I think we can't really see it too well here. This is a great side profile shot, by the way. This is actually avoiding what Jeff and I were talking about earlier. This thing here is really well done. This kind of like lantern, in my mind. In my mind, it sprays fire. It's like a dragon's breath.
Again, some areas is a bit dark, so that didn't really help with the judging process, because I can see it almost looks like there's one source of light, because the shadows are casting to one side. If you have another light like coming from a different direction, that'll make some of the shadows like light.
You can fill the lights a bit. Cool. And then at least we got a nice action pose, well, semi pre-action preparation for battle pose. Love the head here. This is good, smart use of these parts. Some very cool choices here, like the red fingertips, well, almost fingertips. Diorama shot, yay! These always make me happy. I feel like this was a good choice to put it with this kind of background, because it kind of feels old school samurai, with the wooden aesthetic. Even though this technically isn't meant to be wooden, it just has that feeling, which is cool. Cabling there helps it. See, this is a great shot. I love this shot because like he's not even the biggest thing in the shot, but he's the focal point. It's a great photograph. This I actually really like this. And again. And I see they're clearly enemies, which is interesting because they obviously in this competition, these two mecha actually did go up against each other. So there we go again. See, look at this. Actually, this rocket again. Sorry, just on the ants one. It's very cool. Like I love this rocket pod. It's great.
Wonder what kit that piece came from.
That rocket pod.
It's probably just a military model kit, yeah?
Yeah, I would say so. It's just the way that it was mounted onto the kit doesn't. The scratch building that he did is pretty good. It manages to hide how it was used. It's probably from a hind. I imagine it's from a hind. But I could be wrong. I mean, and the last one for today is Void Nova Amalgam. Okay, and we're seeing its front. Okay, so guys, I'm sorry to start with such a. This looks like an interesting silhouette. I just needed the lighting to be a bit more on the front so I could see more of the front of the kit.
Because the things on its back is casting quite a lot of shadow. Again, this is not a painted build. It's got some panel lining done. So,
And that's it from the side?
I felt, so this build, personally, I felt it was a bit too much kit bashed together and didn't really have like one idea. And, this is just like a lot of meshed up things. But I do understand what he was going for. Like he was going for like this mech was just salvaging parts and keep adding onto it and becomes like basically becoming like a big mess, right? So that was the intention. But visually, just it's very busy to make out what is what.
So now you got me thinking of that damn rocket pod from the previous one. And only like I also think that it could have maybe been the Iron Cavalry. I'm saying like there's I don't know if it's a gun cannon or a gun tank or something that has like that specific rocket pod that's very similar to it on the side. So it could have also been a Gundam kit, because that's why I keep thinking like, how's the scratch building? How's the mounting point like that? Because that's not a military mounting style. So I keep thinking it's from a Gundam kit or from another mecha kit. And the one I'm thinking of, and that or it's Armored Core. Anyway, sorry, coming back to this. Yes, what Jeff said, this is the issue. This silhouette here looks interesting, okay? Mostly interesting, okay? Because I go, okay, I can see legs, I can see most of the arms, I can't see what's going on in the back there, but cool. But when I turn it to its side, I don't know what I'm looking at. And the problem is I don't know what the front is and what the back is. And maybe in a realistic situation, in a real world environment, this doesn't matter because, you have functionality and that stuff going on. But here, where you are trying to be aesthetic and believable and interesting, you want to try and find ways to kind of create a shape with what you're building, especially with stuff like 30-minute missions. Think of a general shape that you're going for. Spaceship is pointy, like it's just those kind of elemental shapes. Because I'm a big fan of what you're trying to do here. I love the long, creepy-ass legs. I love the cool propellant tanks at the back. I like the shielding, the way that you've done the shielding on the side. Not love that the way that you've done it. Love that it exists and that you've considered it for the design. I just think it needs a bit more thought. Because this reminds me a lot of like an Armored Core unit, and also reminds me a lot of the Deep Striker, the Sentinel, the MS, the XS. See, and here it is a funnel system that you've got going here. And it's cool. This Automa Portanova, Seal Nova, Portanova, Seal Nova, because it's ass's grass and the
but here it's like the photo is not like centered around your kit. It's the victim that gets highlighted. So I feel we don't need to see so much of the like supporting role. We want to see more focus on the kit that you're into.
On the hero. Yeah. Lighting here a little bit too strong. Try to get your colored lighting, and this is the same thing for the Mary Jane image that we saw earlier. Try to get this lighting to be your full light. And when you fully understand that, then start being dramatic and crazy with it. I feel like you don't fully understand how that works yet. And so try and use this light in a more subtle way next time and get your basic lighting right first. But yeah, see, I can sort of see a little bit like of a silhouette shape here, and it's starting to feel like a really cool bad guy mech. And that's what I'm liking about this. Okay. Yeah, here. Oh, shame. He's taken out Ashura.
So it's just like scavenging their parts, to assimilate into the bigger thing.
Into the amalgam. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I get that, and that's the thing. Like, even when they did that whole thing in the Marvel universe where the Venoms like go all over the place, the Venom symbiote or the symbiote species that Venom is, even that, when they try to create mad shapes with it, they had to be very designed. So you, as much as you want to be random, you have to still be random in a way that people can comprehend what you're looking at. Still cool though. Like, I really appreciate this. I mean, I'll go as far as I'll show you guys. This is the one I've been wanting to sort of keep secret until we've done this. And I'm just going to minimize the screen because, so this is the unit that I was doing. It's called my Sparrow Bee, and you can see it's also like a mad kind of no leg unit, kind of boss for a fighting game kind of vibe. And you can see, like, I got a nice definitive shape for the front. The back, although boring, has got a shape.
What's
Side
up
has
with
got
the
a shape.
plastic?
That's because the Seal Nova tends to have a very loose upper chest joint. And so
you're trying that trick to... Okay.
Not trying. I mean, I use this. It's the same thing I did with my Sinanju. So, yeah, just with the Sinanju, But yes, Loud Lungs, you got it there. It's 30-minute missions, Jiang. I wanted to do like a Jiang style unit, and also going for a whole godly feel as well. Like, Anyway, so there we go. So that's why I appreciate what's going on with this amalgam design.
But look, we can see that you're having fun with all the 30-minute missions parts that you have. So play with them, just like treat them like Lego, play with them. And then as you get more familiar, then you might use less pieces to achieve the concept that you're going for, Yeah.
Okay, so guys, amazing stuff.
So that's all the entries, eh? Sure. Thank you guys that entered.
But now we're getting to the serious part of this whole thing now. Now we're going to get to the winners. So Jeff, how do you want me to do it? Do you want me to...
Let's do the 30 minutes missions first, yeah?
30-minute missions first?
Yeah.
Okay. I kind of feel like I want to build up with let's say the 30-minute missions for last because it's got the most pieces.
Sorry, what did I say? Did I say 30-minute missions? I
think you meant artifacts. Okay, so I'm just going to minimize this and that and that and that and that and that, and hopefully my wallpaper hasn't got anything crazy. Oh, good. Oh, look. It's a samurai. Okay. Wait, that was meant to be a bit more. Spoilers.
What did you want to do?
I want to have a bit of a ceremony. Okay. So guys, all of your stuff is great. Remember this. But some of you guys, your stuff was just a little greater than others. And that's fine. So whole thing here is,
at the end of the day, we all on our own journey as well, So try not to compare it to somebody else. What you can do is compare it to your past work. So the next time you work on your kit and look at your first one or the one before, it's like, I've improved in these areas, and appreciate that,
Yeah, exactly that. And also, if you see somebody with a technique that you like, ask them about it, If they want to be like sucky to you, that's actually their problem, not yours. You can get knowledge from someone else, but we are not like that here in the Build Force. We're all about exchanging. So let's go.
Yeah, so that's the biggest thing about having these competitions, is not to like have this mentality of competing with each other. It's about building people even closer together, like become talking points. Like, like, what did you do with your kit? How did you do this? And like learn from each other and grow together as a whole community. And that's why we're doing these competitions. Yeah,
exactly. But now for the reveal. Drum roll, please.
There
we go. Okay, so in third place, we have I Am Gundam. Hold on, I'll make it full screen.
From Epic.
From Epic. So congratulations there, dude.
Yeah, congrats.
And in second place, we got Double O Riser Vanilla by Zenith. Very, very, very cool.
Ice cream.
Okay.
Well done,
And,
Zenith.
and I'm sure you guys can all see who the winner is. It's Moody, who came first with
The
the Goof Flight type. Okay, so congratulations, guys.
Yay.
We will figure out how to get your prizes to you. We'll hit
Yeah,
you
well,
up via
I'll-
DM or whatever.
Yeah, so I'll probably like just DM you guys. Either not, if it's not tonight, it will definitely be the course of tomorrow, like probably tomorrow morning or something. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Thank you. Thank you.
And now, just because I don't want to make the same mistake I made earlier, I just want to open up the other one. Okay, just want to make sure that's ready. Okay. Woo! Okay, so just a reminder, you guys all kicked butt. Please, if you see a kit and you think that yours is supposed to be third place or second place, understand that yours might not be a third or second place because of something tiny. Okay? Tiny. That's how good the top, the sort of top rung of the winning sort of happened here. You guys were tight. Okay? It was like fart in the wrong direction and you lost the point kind of situation. Okay?
Yeah.
That's how tight it was. Okay? Especially for the, just going to leave it at that. So if you don't see it, don't look at yourself and go, my kit was crap. No, your kit was really awesome. It just... Yeah. And I think one of these is going to surprise the builder themselves, the guy who built this. One of them is going to be like, really? So let's see. And here we go. Drum roll, please. It is up, right? Oh, good.
Hey, yeah. Yay.
And in third place,
third place
who did that.
Ein Spider Nutters by Nutters.
Yeah. So what I liked about it, just to remind you guys, liked how clean the build was. Very clean, very straightforward. Had an idea, stuck with it, like the simple scratch building on the spiders and the webbing. Nicely done, well executed, clean all the way around. Okay. And let me tell you, it was neck and neck. Oh. And in second place, Ant 11 Static.
Ant 11 Static from Zero Wing.
Zero Wing. So I think Zero Wing was expecting maybe the Ronin to have been the winner of his two kits, of their two kits. I thought Static, and Jeff also thought Static just was the stronger entry. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot of eye candy happening here. I really enjoyed looking at this build quite a lot afterwards. And of course, and I'm sure the first place are jumping up and down, as is second place and third place for winning. Hey. Congratulations, guys. But first place, guys, I'm not going to lie. This just happened to be the first kit I saw. And lucky for them, it was the first kit I saw. And it became my baseline for everybody else. I'm sorry. And this is why you don't show your stuff off to me or on the group when we do a competition before the competition happens, because this became the standard.
It makes an impact, hey?
They didn't make the mistake of showing this at all. When I actually had an idea of like a kit, I was like, oh, that's looking pretty good. And I was like, okay, I have an idea of how this might be going, because certain people showed off their stuff early. And then I saw this and I was like, oh my word. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Now, what's the rest of the people's stuff going to look like? So anyway, congratulations to Wowen to your well-deserved one on that
Gundam Reader's Zygote.
Yeah. And guys, you can get your score sheets. Jeff and I have done score sheets. We're not going to give you our individual scores. We'll give you the total score, which is the average of Jeff and my scores. So if you want them, you can request them and we can send them to you. So you can see what it was, where you were strong, where you were weak, what you can improve on.
In the four, there's the four categories, and also there's the total. So if you want to see, you can message us and we'll send them to you.
Totally. And also, just so you guys, just so that there is some clarity here, first and second place were quite close in some respects, as were second and third place in some respects, as was what I would have let's call third and fourth place, it was neck and neck, like literally. There was one little thing on the fourth place that made me go, but still, really impressive kits. So my next question is, for those of you who are in the position to do so, would you like to bring your build off kit to the build meet on Saturday? Because we would really like it if you could. We would like to
Paul,
just
do you want
video.
to bring it back to our face cams?
Oh crap! Sorry, I didn't realize. Hi.
There you go.
Would you guys mind bringing your kits through to the build meet on this? That's going to happen this Saturday. Jeff and I would like to do a video. There's also something else we want to discuss with you with regards to those kits for in another event that we're going to, that we're planning on. We want to see if you guys are cool with that. And then there's another event, but we'll talk about that one closer to that. For now, congratulations, everybody. Jeff, what did you think? Are you impressed?
Yeah,
are you happy?
I'm really amazed by like the level, like the benchmark that we've set from our first two competitions, and it's only gonna get better and better. Now we've like that people that have competed the first round know what we're looking for in terms of like the build, or even like most important thing is presentation, I think, because it really helps sell your kit better. So presentation actually factors a lot. Yeah.
Especially, and remember, Jeff and I are in our own way. I mean, listen, it's not like Jeff and myself are Gundam Builder World Championship winners or anything. I mean, we haven't even had the privilege to compete because South Africa isn't even considered. Even if we sent it in, they would send it right back. So we can't even be considered for that. So, but a lot of that stuff is going to happen online. A lot of those images have to go online first before they choose it. So this is why we wanted to get you guys good with the photography side of it, and with taking good photos and with good posing, because that's also part of the fun of the hobby. Let's be fair. As witnessed by like Static and as witnessed by 3 winners actually, who all had outstanding photos. So that really helped us a lot. And the other thing that's worth mentioning is that sometimes some of you guys are not even in the same region as us. Some of you are in Cape Town and Durban and everywhere in between Cape Town and Durban, because apparently, if you're from Joburg or Cape Town, you don't think other places exist. But at least Joburgers are willing to admit there are other places. The thing is, like, this is how we're going to see your work, and this is how we're going to discover you and how you're going to show yourself, because you're not always going to be able to make it in person to a competition. So so photography, posing, getting this side of the hobby right is kind of important. I'd almost go as far as to say that if you can't take good photos, pay somebody to take good photos for you.
Yeah, because if your photos are bad, then it makes your judging of your kit also gets affected. So keep that in mind, guys. Yeah.
But yeah, dudes, like seriously, nicely done. Next time on our next competition, I think we'll make it 2 months or 3 months for your build.
Well, look, speaking about competitions, before we start talking about our next competition, we'll start like getting some feedback soon on like what you guys think should be the next competition. But keep in mind there is international competitions at the moment that you can also enter. It's the Zachary Elias and the USA Gundam Stores competition, which is like deadlines end of May. So you can also consider that. I know personally, I think Paul, you said you're also gonna try and compete, yeah?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. And I'll tell you guys straight what I'm doing. I'm taking a Gaptali. I'm gonna take the Gaptali from Zeta Gundam and do a advanced Zeta version of it, and may scratch build a few things here and there for it, but nothing too hectic because I've already pre-built the kit. So with that being said, I hope like a lot of our South African Build Force members would also consider entering that competition, just so that put South Africa on the map. Because at the end of the day, that's what Gunpla says it's about, right? It's about building the local community, but also letting the world, see South African builders as well. Yeah. So do it good. Also, we got some cool video content. It's actually quite rad. The builder who Wowen actually sent some footage of a time lapse, but it's not really a time lapse. It's kind of like a build diary, a build journal, a vlog if you will.
You gave me the link, so
Yeah.
I'll check it out. So again, that's
So cool.
another thing to note to everybody is like also take photos or even videos of your work in progress. Yeah, because then it's really good to just keep these kind of diaries for yourself.
Yeah, like I don't know how the GBWC is like, but with us, yeah, it was cool to see some of the ingenuity that came in. Well done, seriously, well done. Like every one of you did like something interesting in your kits, and I mean, I just think of that awesome mango one, for example. I love that.
Yeah.
And hypothetically speaking, had that been like really very well finished off, or a lot of it had a feeling of intention and roughness, that could have easily been first place as well. Had it been, so because that photography, that presentation was, for me, it was great. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
And I hope to see more people competing in the next one. And yeah, and congratulations to all of you who are brave.
Paul and I still need to finish ours, hey? Come on, we're gonna finish ours.
We gotta finish ours. Like my Tengu, my Tengu needs to be finished.
You need to clean and then prime your kit and then get into painting. Come on.
Yeah, I need to actually just at least prime my kit and then maybe like not have stuff fall off it, But yeah. But yes, that's our secret shame.
But that really shows that you guys really need to be proud of yourselves for finishing, your kit on time. Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, I even did something crazy with this. I normally don't like a reverse jointed leg, but I even tried a reverse joint on this one, and it was fun. It's cool. Yeah, I like my Tengu. I really want to paint this because I really like it, and that's the other thing. Yeah, Jeff, running Gunpla SA and then having our lives and then our cats going missing and has not helped me build my stuff. So we do understand the challenges.
Yeah.
Anyway,
life happens, but yeah, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you guys. You guys are awesome. I can't wait to see most of you guys at the Build Meet on Saturday. Those of you the Joburg peeps, and yeah, until next time, remember to
keep painting.
Kids!
Where's your kit? Where's your kit?
Oh, my word. Yeah.
Keep painting, eh? Keep painting joy.
Keep painting joy. Yeah.
Keep painting joy, guys.
Good shot.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers, guys.
Cool. And I'm going to 2, 1.
Boom.